your anger is going to kill you. It produces stress, body tension that produces cancer. It causes a lot of problems that will result in your death. We need to get rid of it. I have 3 steps on how to do that, and let's show you how. My name's Nick Tabor. I'm a personal trainer, and I talk about this stuff on this channel because I've lived through it. And man, as a kid, I was the most angry person you've ever seen. Just just mad at the world, mad at God, mad at every single thing that you could ever possibly think of. To the point where I grinded my teeth at night and I have the dental issues that I do right now because of this. I had knots all over my body and I had many other problems that I had to work through and spend the better part of my adult life getting around it. There's a book that I read, actually, I have it right here. I found a copy of it. And it's something that stuck with me for a very long time. It was a book called Zen Speak, Shout of Nothingness. And it's a good thing about Zen philosophy, and it has a lot of comics that, explain the issues, explain everything that's going on. And one of my favorite stories of all, actually, there was 2 of them that came about, and one was 2 monks, and for this sake in person, why don't we call one monk Elliot and one monk is Joe. So Elliot and Joe are walking in the monastery, and Elliot's carrying this giant ceramic egg. What he does, Joseph comes along, talks to Elliot, says, "Hey man," says, "what are you doing with that egg?" He says, "Well, we're gonna put it down in the trash. We're going to break it down and make a table out of it because it's an eyesore." Joseph goes, "Okay, but you don't need to carry the entire of your burden, right?" "No." So he knocks the egg out of Elliot's hands, smashes on the floor. And he says, "Now you can handle it piece by piece. Instead of handling your entire burden, wasting your energy." Another one, Joseph and Elliot are walking down the street, and they are walking along this river. Joseph sees this woman who's trying to cross this river and having a difficult time. So he goes in, lifts his robes up, picks the woman up, carries her to the other side, lifts his robe up, goes to the other side, and they continue walking. About a half mile down the road, Elliot looks at him and says, "We're not supposed to do that. What is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? That's a violation of our vows." And Joseph says, "Well, I gave up carrying that woman a mile ago. Why are you still carrying her?" And the 2 of those stories they sat with me very, very well because in both of them, they're carrying unnecessary burdens. They're carrying anger. And I'm not saying anger is wrong. Anger is a very, very, very natural emotion. But anger, when it's not handled correctly, can cause devastating issues. We've got to get rid of it. I had this thing that I trained and I got my black belt, and I had it in my mind for years when I graduated high school that if I were to see one of my childhood bullies in the streets, I'd kill him. And just pumping and training and losing weight and working out, and I got past college and I'm still got this in my mind. Now, I'm about mid to early 20s at this point. Let's say 23, 24. I'm already out of college at this point. I'm in debt. I forgot about everybody. But I still had that festering issue which caused a drinking problem for a few years, which caused self-harm, which caused many other issues that I had to seek help for, to try to medicate instead of dealing with it, instead of trying to get through it. I saw this gentleman in a store, and man, he looked disheveled. I didn't even recognize him at first. For this sake, I'm going to use the name Joe as well. Joe comes up to me and apologizes, tears down his eyes, and he says, "Nick, I'm so sorry for the way I treated you in all of our life. I really am so sorry, so I forgive you." And out of no even second thought, and I went, yeah, the burden lifted way off my shoulders, and I moved on. I didn't have a physical tightness after that for a long, long time. So, we deal with your anger is a 3-step process for you. Well, overall, before we get to that, I would say seek professional help as well to walk through it. No shame in ever seeing a psychiatrist to give you a hand or a therapist. Just get it done and work something out through all this. But here we go. Step number 1, catch your breath in the moment. We're angry, we get this tense thing, and we're like, what do I do? But what happens is your brain sends a chemical reaction to the body saying things are wrong, and you tighten up and you stop breathing correctly. The rest of the body responds and says there's an emergency mode. If you can get to the point where you catch your breath and you say, all right, there you're here. What happens is this sends a message immediately to the brain saying things are okay, we've got this. And then it leads to step 2. You break your anger down. Why did this happen? What happened? Where did this all come from? What can we do about it? Where can we change so this doesn't happen again? I had a lot of anger issues in my early 20s. There are incidences that I'd like to forget, but I never, ever forgot them. I was so angry at myself that it led me to a road of self-medication. It led me down a bad path. But I haven't forgotten them because I don't want to do them again. And why I was angry, because I didn't have control in myself. Because in my brain, I didn't know who I was. So I had to find my path down the self-journey, and I had to figure out me so I can be okay. Number 3, forgive. Forgive the world. Forgive that issue. Forgive yourself. Number 1, while I had those issues that I had, I never forgot what I did. I never forgot why I got there. Because I had alcohol issues. Let's remember that. So, alcohol problems were an issue. But I had that, and I medicated myself in order to stop feeling it. But I forgave myself, because even though I beat myself up, because while I was a drunken idiot, I knew that I was a good person. And once I knew the real me, caught my breath, and knew how to stop myself with anger problems, I could forgive myself. Just as I forgave those bullies. As I forgave everything else. And when you're free from anger, your life is way better. We have a bunch of other videos on this channel that I'd like you to go ahead and check out. I don't want to see anyone live with the same problems I did, and I hope these help. Go check out another video right here. As always, we climb, and I'll see you there.